criteria
bro,
we've
yeah,
used
it
for all
literally
these
ticks
other
every
ones,
box.
it's like it ticks every single.
Nothing special was like really happened like that. I'm gonna be real. Nothing major.
Beef all the time.
No,
There's been beef all the time. Even just now we got... Yo, what is everyone saying? Welcome back to another episode of the Total 90 podcast. Today we reach the quarter century, episode 25. And so as you can see, for such a special occasion, I had to bring back one of the OG panelists. I had to contact Sky directly to ask
Is this how you're gonna do
to have him on. Thomas, how are you doing, sir?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I can't complain. How are you, bro?
Yeah, it's great to have you back. I can't lie. Obviously, we're getting you match fit and that because we got to get you on the draft soon. The ghost of Nicola Pepe in goal, it still gets spoken about to this day. So we're just getting you a bit more warmer, innit? Back from injury and that.
You know, I'm still traumatized about that. Cruyff as well. Bro.
Cruyff, we won't forget, bro. We won't forget. Next up, he wasn't happy with the last intro, so I'll follow the trend of Thomas's one, and I'll say that I had to contact Dua Lipa directly to ask if I could borrow him for 1 hour.
It's a touchy subject. I'm seeing Trevor Noah stuff on the timeline. It's like, geez, I have to go through another one, do I? But yeah, it's all right. I'm good. Apart from that.
Yeah, lovely stuff. And obviously United getting slapped up, but we'll speak about that a bit later as well, obviously. And lastly, if you think these men are celebrities, this guy's been in the game for about 10 years and he's been spotted for many things in his time, but the paparazzi have gone to new lengths. Mav, you want to tell us about what happened this weekend?
So long story short, I was bopping about in Nando's. Group of lads came up to me and went, "Can I ask a question? Are you Maverick from Amenyah's podcast?" I said, "Absolutely, that's me." And he was like, "Can I get a picture?" I was like, "Absolutely, you can, not a problem." So
Amenyah, you're clear, bro.
Because Amenyah is clear.
Amenyah,
that's not me. That's Mav.
No,
that's
man. No, it's your podcast.
Down below.
I reckon the guys there, thinking, ooh, do I talk about how dead his drafts have been, or do I just be like,
don't say
am
it
I
to
polite
his face, huh? They're the ones in the comments.
I was waiting for it. I actually would have. Do you know what? I would have rated him if he went, "Your drafts are dead," by the way, because then I know he's a proper viewer. But he said he watches them all, and I mean, he spotted me from that, so he must watch a few.
I hear it, man. Whoever you are, listen. Either comment below or like post a picture on IG story or something, tag him. We want to know who you are. We want to show love to the supporters. So you can block your face if you want. I just want to know who it is that's seeing people in public. But yeah, anyway,
check the previous comments as well from those people. See if it lines up.
True. We shall see. So those of you that have been watching football, I'd like to think it's going to be everyone here watching. You'd have seen two massive derbies take place this weekend. Obviously, we had Arsenal dismantling Chicken Ball FC and Manchester City dominating yet again. So I thought, all right, there's been bare conversations about what's the best derby, what's overrated. Why not slap a cheeky little tier list of these big derbies across the world even? So you can base it on anything you like, from history, like competitive, if the fans have beef, if it has any impact on the global and whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You pick it how you like. So without further ado, we'll start with the very first one. It was the game that we just saw. United versus Manchester City. Where would we like to put this one?
This is the thing, like, I'm just going to start off, right, and we'll see how we go. But I'm going to start off like this. I'm just looking through the list, Amenyah, and I'm just going to have to start off with good for the Manchester derby. I'm not going to lie. I just don't think it has the same fierceness as some of the others.
It doesn't.
No,
it's a bit friendly, isn't it? It's a bit friendly. Yeah.
I'm seeing like Man United, for example. I think Man United Liverpool is, bigger than that. For example, that game. So I'm just gonna have to say good. For derby,
United fans have literally wanted City to win the league for a couple years now. Whenever Liverpool are the ones,
that's weird to me. So.
That's why for me, I know people might say it's reactionary from the result this weekend, but people will know my history on this one in terms of my opinion. I would go as far as saying mid, if I'm being completely honest with you. No, I would.
Yes.
No, I would.
I hear it though.
For the sole reason, and I'm gonna say this with chest. Whenever it's been the whole like City United derby, it's always been a case of a very small minority of each fan base really care that tough about it. But it's always been either United are dominating and City are a bad team, or City are dominated and United
Yeah,
are a
there was
bad
never
team.
like
So
an overlap.
there's
I
never
was gonna
really
say the
been a
same thing.
crossover where
Yeah.
they're
I was gonna
both
say the
battling
same
each
thing.
other for something. It's always been like one has been way better than the other.
Thomas, what do you reckon about like the games themselves? Like, are they enjoyable games? Like, are they?
Do you know
What are you
what?
saying
I
for
feel
that?
like I'm with Mav in the sense that it's never really been an equal game. We've had like, I'd put it in good derby just because as of recent, it's gotten a little bit more exciting. But like, if we're going back to like old times, like when they had like Richard Dunn and that, Man United were popping them every
Yeah, it
single
didn't
time.
matter still.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's only now like you can point like moments of significance, like Rashford's first season when he burst on the scene and United won 1-0.
The Pogba
Do you know
blue
what
hair
I mean?
and
The
that as
Pogba
well.
blue hair when they came
Yeah.
back 3-2. That's what
Yeah.
made it. That's what's kind of brought it back. Do you know what I mean? But
We can have it in mid for now, and then it could make its way up to good depending on what the others say, I suppose. Innit? We'll see how it goes. If we're comfy with that,
calm.
we'll
I
go
I
top
think
of
there's
mid. We'll go
reasons
top of
having
mid.
it in both. Like, obviously, it's still a huge derby,
Yeah.
right? In terms of the amount of eyes
Yeah.
on it, but it just doesn't. For me, it's
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
same
yeah.
like fierceness levels. That's why I don't want to put it any higher.
See how it goes. Next up,
a lot of corporate tickets being sold. Let's put it that way.
They're the games
next
us
up
EA
we go
shields
to
yeah, moving on.
to spit. Yeah, I don't get invited to that sadly.
Hashtag thank EA.
I don't get invited, so there's no thanking nobody on this podcast.
care.
Next up, we have we go to Spain, Real Madrid versus Atleti. What are we saying for this one? Whoever wants to go first, as always.
I can't
Feel
lie. I'll
free.
go first. I'll go first on this one because I actually watch most of these. Because for me, like, and even when I was younger, I can't lie. Every time I watch these derbies, specifically with Simeone coming along, they've always been. That is fiery. That is fire. That is
Yeah,
passion.
absolutely.
That is so. So
Absolutely.
for me. I'm not in a weird way of saying though, in terms of iconic, it doesn't quite go there for me. It's just a great derby. Which obviously the Vinny stuff came out recently and they're always both so passionate. So for me personally,
think-
great.
I reckon the Champions League, I forget, is it 14? That also raises the stakes a lot more because now you're
Absolutely,
having
yeah.
these
Yeah.
kind of games like on the
And you're having
biggest
guys
of
like
stages.
Ramos score, and they're obviously
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
love the
that's-
badge, and
that's-
you can see how much
Ronaldo
it means
dunking on him
to
and
bag.
that.
You know,
Ronaldo
and
scoring that pen, Bale scoring, yeah.
even Ronaldo when he then went to Juve and he's playing Atletico
He was still
as a
doing
Real
that thing,
Madrid
innit?
legend,
Yeah.
and everyone cares so much. The Madrid fans hate him so much. Yeah, it's a big time
Yeah.
thing over there. I can't lie.
I'll put it in great derby still. Like, there's just,
What
it's
are you
just
saying, Jamie? You agreeing with that as well?
Yeah,
still.
I was about to say that the reasoning for me why it's not in iconic because I think there's just another one with Madrid involved
Yeah.
that is. So
Yeah.
like
Yes.
that's just
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
reason. If the
Yeah.
other one
Yeah, hear
wasn't iconic, then I'd be happy to put that one in there. But it's just below
Yeah.
that one for me. So yeah, happy with
Nah,
that.
I think if you really deep it, there's not a lot of actual games between them outside Champions League, like in
Yeah.
the league that you
Yeah.
can really remember and point back to. But obviously, we are not,
We're
watching
not
every
avid
single match
La
like that.
Liga
Yeah,
watchers
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
All right, this one, I might take the lead on this one because this, I think, is
Oh,
going to be the
God.
first one that I'm slapping into overrated.
I'll back you.
We have Liverpool versus Everton.
I'll
And
back you.
I'll tell you why it's overrated. There has arguably in any of our lifetimes ever been a point where Everton were outright better. I know they hit like fourth one time, like good for them. The games are always quite dull. I actually saw a stat actually in the last 9 games, 4 of them have been 0-0. What a rubbish derby. What kind of derby is this? It's dead. It's just one team bullying the other all the time.
Just quickly, right? I'm just gonna go when you say like they're not close. I get that, but the feeling I get when there's a Merseyside derby, whether Everton are so much further below Liverpool, they still turn up for the derby and they still have gotten results in it. So like I see that part, but on the other side, I don't think it's like Liverpool have
Yeah, but
always
the
just
games are
dominated.
boring to me.
Do you
though,
know
innit?
what? Like as well, there's a stat I saw. They were saying that the most red cards have been in the derby have been shown in the Liverpool Everton derbies.
Really?
So again, it's like when a game's got that many red cards and that much passion, I don't know how you can call it overrated. I would
guess-
hear
there's
I would
passion,
hear
but
a
the
mid if
games
you
are
really
still-
wanted to go mid, but
I
no
don't-
matter,
I don't care
I
if
don't
it's red
support
card
either
and
team,
it's
so
just
don't rate
0-0
them.
though,
I
innit?
feel
But
like
every time the passion from the fans and from I don't know, the real question is someone sat in I don't know Cadiz in Spain watching Liverpool Everton.
absolutely not.
No,
Probably
but-
not if we're
yeah,
being honest.
It's
we're
weird,
being
'cause I want to
honest,
move the
I don't feel like it
goalposts
has
with
any.
this one though. Like,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
All right, no, but like what
deep-rooted-
kind? Okay, like what games? Like what are like the my
Yeah,
days
you
that
can't,
Liverpool and Everton
really
game? There's
point
not
out
a
a
lot
game
of
that's
games
like
like that.
raw. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Like I remember
but-
Jagielka scoring from like 30 yards.
But-
bullet
okay, so
volley,
what
and
are we
Origi
judging
I
on?
ran
Are
even
him
we
think
head.
judging
back
it on
to when
score lines
Cahill's
or
bagging in
derbies? Because for me,
Merseyside
like
No,
derbies.
everything.
derbies.
Encompass
Like
it as
I'm not
anyhow
judging
you
it on
like.
score line. I'm judging it on like derby. Like it's a derby.
No,
it's not
I
about
agree
the
with you, but
score
that's
line.
why I say there's all the
It's
factors you have to
hard.
weigh in
So-
and decide it on your own thing. In my opinion, the derby games have got to be interesting.
That makes me want to put the United City derby in overrated then, because I'll be honest,
I don't think it's
I
overrated.
would rather
No, no.
watch a Liverpool Everton
Yeah,
game.
no,
I
but-
would. I actually would.
Yeah, but the issue is, so overrated doesn't mean that it's a
Yeah,
worse
I
derby
agree.
than the
I
ones in
agree with you
middle,
there.
if you deep it. Overrated
Okay,
could just
yeah,
mean
yeah,
that like
okay,
it's
okay,
not as
yeah,
good
that makes
as
sense,
what
that
guys
makes
are
sense, that
trying
makes sense.
to
That
say
makes
is.
sense going
That's
from
the
that
But
Amenyah's
the
standpoint.
top
like
four,
point.
they are in order.
Liverpool
Yeah, I
versus
see
Everton
your
is
reasoning.
highly
I wasn't.
rated, but,
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that way, but I definitely see your point on that. I can't lie. You've kind of swung me with that one comment. I can't.
get the
I'll
So
be
we're
real.
saying me and Thomas are gonna go overrated. You joining us there slightly?
I'm not personally. I see where you're coming from. I'm not 100%.
I'm still feeling mid.
Anyone want to budge? I'm not really budging. I can't lie.
Hey,
I ain't moving, bro. That derby is too dead.
Host-
derby, right?
host
You
gets
can
final
go with that,
decision,
you
I
can
guess.
go with that. You can get the
No,
vibe.
no,
You
no.
can go with that.
Democracy. Someone
No,
has to
yeah,
move.
that's fine, but it's 2-2, so democracy fails here because it's an even number. So at some point, you've
As the
got.
host,
nobody
you
wants
can
to
take
move.
it. Don't worry, we'll give you this one.
Fine.
Just everyone knows my opinion. That's all that matters. Okay, that's all
All
I
right
care
then.
about.
Well, you said you were somewhat swayed, but I wasn't swayed
Yeah,
by
I
your
was.
thing.
I was
So
some.
there we
Yeah,
go.
I hear it. Okay, that
I
makes
wasn't
sense.
swayed a little bit.
I'll give you that.
All right, next up, what a derby this is.
Lol.
Chelsea
Why is
versus
this even
Fulham.
on here?
Bro, this is a standard
That's- hey,
fixture.
that's
fam.
Why
Chelsea's
is this
biggest game,
even
you know?
on here?
That's
That's a-
Chelsea's biggest game,
That's
bro.
a standard
let's
fixture.
Fulham comes knocking.
Oh, they're both
Put it
in West,
mid and
innit?
move on. Let's just put it
They're
in
both
mid.
Yeah, that's
in
their
West.
derby, bro. All right,
Yeah, we
mid.
I
can't
don't
put it
think
in
people
overrated
from
because
either
absolutely
side would
no
be
one on the planet
upset
rates
with
this
us putting it
derby.
in mid.
I don't refer to it. It's a,
Uh,
bro,
we-
it's a
we can
standard
leave it in
fixture,
mid.
bro. Standard fixture.
Fairs. Next up, we are off to Germany. It's my favorite league, the Bundesliga. We have Bayern versus Dortmund. Can I get some thoughts on this derby?
Do you know why it's tight? Because Bayern win the league every year, so it's like, is there a competition? But at the same time, there have been some good games. Dortmund do make noise, you know what I mean, and so do Bayern. So it's like, I would put it in. I'd say it's a good derby. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not great or iconic, but it's like
Yeah, fur hat, my brother. I know
what it
you're
is.
probably watching or listening somewhere, but it cannot go anywhere above good. Having visited a few German games in person, the crowds in Germany are among some of the best I've been involved in and in a stadium for. That's the only thing stopping me from putting it in mid. I'll be so honest with you. Is the atmosphere and the fans. There's great atmospheres, but there's never anything riding on it. And realistically, it's like the games are good to watch, but
Well, I would say that there is an exception. I hear where you're coming from a little bit. Obviously, in the league, no one really... Like, no one
Yeah,
wakes up and
Champions
thinks, oh
League
my
obviously
days,
is
we're gonna have
different,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, we've had a Champions League final, and I think
Yeah.
that's one of my favourite Champions League finals.
it was
the
a
one at
great game.
Wembley.
It was a great
Yeah,
game.
no,
To
it
be
was a good
fair,
game.
it was. It was. a
But
good
in
game.
general, nobody like sees it on the calendar and thinks, oh yeah, like,
I'm
can't
gonna
wait to watch
change my TV
Black
for this
Bayern
one.
Yeah.
versus
Yeah, I
Dortmund.
can
Do you know what I
do
mean?
See, I see it very different to someone that's living in Germany, for example. And I'm sure they would put it a lot higher than me, but that's why I'm kind of swaying towards good.
Here's my issue. Obviously, we said like, okay, the league games, like no one really cares to tune in like that too tough, right? However, separately to that, think about in terms of like a fierce rivalry. Yes, the fans are passionate. The players just go between clubs back and forth like it's nothing.
Yeah.
How many times has
100%.
Hummels just
Yeah,
gone?
I hear
Hummels
that.
goes
I
to
hear
Dortmund to Bayern, to
I hear
Dortmund to
that.
Bayern. Lewa got
Yeah.
robbed. He's Bayern's best
I hear
striker
that.
ever.
Yeah.
Götze
100,
was
like-
going back and
They're,
forth.
they're
Like,
winking at each
You
other on
don't-
the
you don't
halfway
see it.
line, and then
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
you
Man
Yeah.
are
don't
smiling
see
at one
any
another.
other,
Yeah,
bro.
get
Yeah,
off,
I
man.
get
I don't think
Nah.
Dortmund fans really hate Lewa like that. I mean, they might. I
No,
don't
they
know.
don't.
but
They
I've never,
don't.
I've never
They
seen it like
don't.
that.
They love him.
don't.
They love
He's
him,
just a
bro.
guy that was cold for them, and he was cold for Bayern.
So
I don't
just
really-
just packing up, going
okay.
going back and forth.
Bro,
Like,
look
they-
at Hummels, bro. Hummels was moving
Bro,
club.
Hummels
Bro,
is
Hummels
just
definitely
playing
got two
Hummels.
homes. Bro got two
ping-ponging,
homes. He got
brother.
one in Dortmund and one in Munich, fam. Because he was
Bro,
moving,
he's just
fam.
chilling. So
Yeah.
we'll go good then in that case. Jamie, you comfy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy
Are you
with
hearing that one?
No, I'm happy with that. I'm happy.
All right then. Fair enough. Next up, this one,
This is a quick one.
I've not seen it a lot.
Turn off, man.
PSG,
Hell.
Marseille.
This is a quick one.
Get off, man.
Go
Is
on,
that
why
a
is it quick,
derby?
man? Well, it's supposedly one of the biggest games in France. There was Lyon, Marseille. There was
I'll say
PSG,
it right
Marseille,
now.
but
Those
PSG's better for
French fans
clicks.
are crazy, man. Like
That's why I had
it in
there.
They're mad.
They are.
Every time I'm watching
really
a legal game, there's things being thrown on the pitch. There's shields. There's
Bro,
a derby game.
You're saying things like it's cups of water. They're throwing missiles and grenades, bro. Like, that is a bit crazy. I can't
over
lie.
the announcement saying this needs to stop right now. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not gonna lie,
But like we said, the games themselves, I don't know much about them, to be honest. I've only been watching Ligue 1 since like last year, really. So I don't know where I'd put it. Thomas, what are you saying for this?
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I watch Ligue 1 religiously, innit? So
it's one of these where, sorry to butt in, it's just like globally I don't see it, but it's one of those in France. It's probably fierce.
Within
and
France,
France is
on,
probably huge.
and there's like clashes between fans. I get that, but like globally, the way I'm looking at it compared to the others, like I don't see it. I don't see it.
I'd put it in mid. I think mid is probably the best.
Mid?
Yeah, I can't put it in overrated because I don't know if it's rated.
If I ever go France and the French people see me, bro, they're gonna attack me because I got a couple PSG fans that like actual French people and they hate Marseille. Like they really hate any Marseille related player, whether they've left or they're still there. Even if I pack them on FIFA, I'm just getting spammed in my chat. Discard him. Like they really hate him, but. It's hard to put it anywhere other than mid because I don't care for the actual.
Yeah. It's got to go in mid for the globalness.
Yeah, so when I was looking for like Ligue 1 games, it was Lyon versus these guys. It was PSG, Marseille, but there wasn't anything that stood out to me as like this is the French derby. Do you know what I mean?
think because they're all just crazy and they all dislike each other.
Yeah, they all just main it, bro. I'm saying teams get relegated
I think they all just dislike each other. I don't think it matters if it's a derby. It's just if you don't support my club, I don't really rate you, man.
I hear it. Fairs. All right, next up. I have a feeling I know where this goes.
Easy.
Milan versus Internazionale. They say it's easy.
As a man,
Jamie, you
I'll
want to
just say quickly, as a man that's been fortunate enough to attend one of these, it was honestly nothing
huge,
like
I've ever
that's
experienced.
huge.
Atmosphere inside of the stadium was crazy, but outside, obviously, flares and chants and everything.
Yeah,
I actually bought an Inter shirt, right? I had to hide it under my jacket. I thought I was going to get rolled if I... No, I'm not even joking. Like, it was just one of those. Yeah, I don't need to say anything. It's just iconic.
It's definitely a crazy iconic, one for sure.
I grew up with this one personally. For me, it was absolute clashes of titans back in the day.
That Twitter video
now,
internationally, like everything about it is literally when you say football derbies. This is one that you think about. This is absolutely one that you think about. It.
The fact they both got the same stadium as well. Like, you know
this is what I was gonna say. It's a bit crazy how like. They have the same stadium, and they make these decisions together. They're making a new stadium, and they're knocking the San Siro down. Yet somehow there's still so much beef and animosity. And even if you deep it further, we've got like legends that go back and forth. Again, Ibrahimovic has played for both of them. R9 has played for both of them. There's a long list of players that have played for both of them, and yet somehow they still just hate each other. Like, I don't get it. But like you said, it is one of the most iconic games.
More so because you talk about like. Players going between Bayern and Dortmund, but like I feel like just the hatred on match day, and even
this is
on
different.
Match day, it's just different. Like
I think as well, if you think about the transfers of people you said that have gone between, and if you think about the players that have switched between, they're often foreigners of Italy, right? And right, but I think you ever seeing an Italian born and bred that supports and plays for Inter. Playing for Milan, never gonna happen.
Never.
And vice versa, other way around. It will not. They split, like I said, they play in the same stadium, they live in the same place, but there's no chance they change the shit. Zero.
Let me know in the comments if that's a fact from Mav. Any Italians that have gone back and forth in the comments, let us know if that's waffle or not. Fair, so iconic then. No worries. Next up, Chicken Ball FC top Spurs versus Chelsea. Thomas, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. Like, I know it's defo a derby. Like that. Like that's fair. Like it's not like a Chelsea Fulham thing. It's not that at all. But at the same time, it's one of those ones again where I don't really know what I don't know. I don't know if they've got like a burning maybe because I don't support them. I don't know if they've got like a burning hatred towards one another the same way like let's say we have with Chicken Ball FC. Do you know what I mean?
I'll be real. This one's a mad one. I can't lie.
I was gonna say, I think I might be with Mav on this.
I've seen some crazy games
Actually,
between
tell
these
a
two
lie.
here.
I know
Like, some
in
seriously crazy games.
In recent times.
There's
Ever
that
since
famous
Leicester.
one now in recent years, the Battle of the Bridge or whatever they call it. Like
Yeah,
that was just
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I get that, but
That was for the league, no?
yeah, well,
Was that the
that
one?
stopped.
It's
Tottenham
ever since
winning
that
the
Leicester
league, or
game
potentially
where
being
Eden
able to.
Hazard bagged the finesse,
Yeah,
and then Leicester won the league. Ever since then, it's been violence
crazy.
almost every game.
I don't know.
To
Do you know
be
what it
fair,
is? I'm thinking the most recent one was this season was okay. It wasn't like raw.
Yeah,
Do you know
but
what I
it's
mean?
still like maybe
Yeah.
that's
I
it's
don't know.
contained
It was
to
But
kind
even
of-
then,
that
you
was
had
like-
guys
It's kind
pulling
of
hair
spicy.
and
Let's
whatnot.
be
Yeah.
honest.
I don't know.
It was pretty
maybe it's
spicy.
just me.
The fact of
Yeah.
the matter is, some of these we're doing on history, and some of them are going to have to be done on recency. And
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
said,
yeah.
You
it
base
makes
it on
sense.
recent
anything,
times,
innit, really.
it has become a good derby.
I don't know how I want to rate that higher than the Manchester derby now, though, that we're talking about it. Like, is it higher rated than that?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I would say,
I'd say
it is.
yeah.
I don't know.
Reckon?
I'm like
I'd
half
say
and
it
half
is.
as well.
I don't think so. Too. Like when I weigh it up or everything considered, I wouldn't rate it higher personally.
But I never see any like
I would say the
misdemeanors in the Manchester derby. Like they just
Yeah,
seem
I'd
like
say the
they're
Manchester
friendly
derby.
folk.
The reason I've put it in mid is because everyone talks about it like it should be iconic, but it's not.
I
It's
guess
like,
that's
it
when
is
that.
so-
I guess
whereas,
that's why I
like,
would put it in overrated if that was going to be the case, right?
Obviously for the Spurs and Chelsea game, right? From like 2000, let's say 15 onwards, that's when it became somewhat relevant. And in most of those years, they were competing for arguably the same thing, whether that's the title or fourth place or second or whatever.
Yeah.
United versus City, for the entire duration of the, whenever they were formed, it was United going for the title and City hoping that they can stay in the Prem. And then in like 2011, 12, those like 2 years there from 2010 to like 2012, 13, it was kind of even playing field, and then it just flipped. It's just Man City, Man City, Man City. United are just holding on to try and do a little something. I know they got second 1 year, but realistically, I don't see any fierceness behind it. Do you know what I mean? Like, the most outrageous thing I've seen is probably like Tevez holding up that banner saying like R.I.P. Fergie or whatever. The fans don't really have any beef. They just leave the stadium when they start losing. There's nothing there.
Look, I don't
literally
know.
nothing there. Yeah.
Personally, I think I would rate the Manchester derby higher than that.
I'm with Jamie still. I'd rate the
Yeah.
Manchester derby higher than Chelsea Tottenham.
As a derby, like I believe.
I can't lie, Tom. I think that's because you're an Arsenal fan, though.
No, not even. Like I'm a neutral when it comes to
because I can't believe you've ever watched a United derby that's better than Chelsea Tottenham in recent years, because it doesn't exist.
I don't know.
That
I mean,
derby is the deadest thing ever.
Other than Battle of the
Like,
Bridge, other than that Battle of the Bridge one we just mentioned, I'm not gonna lie. That game where Paul Pogba bagged 2, I think he came off the bench and bagged 2. That's up there, bro. I'll be real. The game
The
where
only
he
Yeah,
reason,
but that
the only reason
that
that's
was
up
a
there
good
is
game, but
Pogba
there
as
was
an
no,
individual.
no, but it's
Got
not even
nothing
just
to do
it's
with the
to
two
do with the
teams.
whole.
wasn't
It's to do with the
really
whole
beef or
game. It was
anything,
more than that.
It was to do with Pogba getting beefed, and then
I don't know.
he turned up
for
and did
me,
something.
Nah,
For me
Manchester
personally,
derby,
I can only say
the more
how I
keep
feel in
thinking
it.
about
The Manchester derby game, that game in particular, outweighs, barring Battle of the Bridge, outweighs any other.
That's not even the
thingy
best
game.
one though. There's like
That's
obviously
what I'm
Barcelona,
saying.
there's
Obviously, there's been bare
Balotelli
other
with me,
games.
like,
There's been bare other games, but
Yeah,
it's like,
but these games, yeah. Listen, I love them, right? United got smacked 6-1 at Old Trafford. I love that. I loved this weekend when they lost 6. I loved it, but I can't say there was much animosity there.
Yeah.
like you just said it, bro. Balotelli's just calmly there doing
no,
white
but this
always
is
No,
the
but that's
thing
his-
though. If we
6-1.
compare it, I just don't want to rate it higher than the Manchester.
yeah, I
derby,
don't
but
want
I'm
to
not
rate it
sure
higher than
which
the
way
Manchester
that
derby
is.
still.
I'm
I don't
down
care
to
who
put
you
Spurs
support.
Chelsea low.
I just can't. Like, I can't hear that.
My dad's a
United-
Millwall fan, Mav. He's told me
Exactly,
about the games he went to
exactly.
against West Ham. I know, I get it.
Exactly,
But-
and we're comparing that to City United, where the fans would probably shake hands because they don't give a, they
All
don't
I'm
care.
comparing- I'm
They
comparing
don't
the
care.
Manchester-
No
Come
one
on, man.
cares.
I'm comparing the
No one
Manchester derby to Tottenham and Chelsea. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
I
doing
think
right now.
that's
And
what
all I
I've
want
gotta
to
look
do
at
is
from that
rate
perspective.
the Manchester derby higher than that.
But that game
That's
is a
what I'm
bit
doing.
madder though.
Ah, yeah.
Like I think of like even just
Streets
the
of
managers
London,
going back and
but
forth and that as well. You know?
like even if you consider the streets of London, like the way police would have to be moving in comparison. I don't know, man. I just don't. It's just individual iconic moments.
I feel like that can apply to pretty much every game.
No, it can't. No, it
but
can't.
if it wasn't
No,
such
it
a big
can't.
game though, then those moments
Yeah,
wouldn't be
that's
as
what I'm
big.
saying. It wouldn't mean
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
If Pogba scored against,
100%.
Luton, or if something happened against Luton, it'd be a different situation.
So you just said it. All right. So Pogba scored. Yeah. What did it do?
What do you mean?
Stopped
What did
City
it do?
winning the league for 1 week.
I can't remember what it
City
was.
were about to win the league.
No, I'm not.
I
Wait,
remember.
I'm
That's
not.
what
The
I'm
thing
telling
is,
you.
I'm not
The
disputing
fans
that,
are
innit?
ditching
I'm
coins
not.
at Rio
I'm not
Ferdinand's
disputing
head.
that.
He's got
Fair enough.
He's got
All of that
cold
stuff.
picture to go with it.
Exactly, but at the same time, like barring the Chelsea Tottenham game, where Battle of the Bridges, nothing special was like really happened like that. I'm gonna be real. Nothing major.
Beef all the time.
No,
They've
but
been beef all the time. Even just now, we got Romero pulling my man's hair, Cucurella, and then Kane scores in the last minute. After, was it Koulibaly?
Guys were even
30-yard
saying
volley.
carnage.
All right, let's. Okay, do you know what? I can put United City at the top of mid, and then Chelsea Spurs at the bottom of good, and then we can.
Hey, that's your decision, but I'm on record saying that I think the Manchester
man.
derby is.
Oh my days.
I'm not backing that, bro. Ain't no man.
I'm not backing it. Like, you can do it, but I'm on record saying I don't agree with it. That's fine. You can do it.
All right.
Hey,
Why are you trying to guilt trip me into doing this, bro?
Hey, look. At the end of the day, it's alright.
All right, fine.
Maybe I'm wrong,
We'll
but
see.
it's just
There
my
can still
opinion.
be some adjustments at the end. We'll see how it looks and how they're evenly weighted. Maybe some can go up and down. No worries. Next up, we have Benfica versus Porto. I'll be honest, I've watched one game ever. I don't even know why I was watching. I think I had a bet on or something. But what I can say though is, it always leads to a title race. We've seen games where there's literally a title decided in this very game, in the last second. My man drops. There was gonna be a pause moment there. He drops down and he's in a praying position, and he's saying, "Oh my days, how have we just lost this in the final minute of the game, in the final minute of the season?" That there is a chaos one. But
I know
haven't
this
watched
one.
that much.
I know this one's chaos in Portugal.
Absolutely.
I personally have never watched it, but to say that this isn't a big deal over there would be me lying through my teeth, because this is
it's one of those. You can't.
I think that the impact carries it. Impact carries
put
it.
it like iconic, for example, because like
No,
worldwide,
not
when you
at
say
all.
iconic, it's something that, you know, worldwide people are going, "Oh yes,
Everyone wants
that's
to
on. I'm
watch
going
it,
to tune in, bang." It's not that, but
Yeah.
I agree with Mav. Obviously, you have to respect it. It has to be higher than Tottenham, Chelsea for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
So-
I'm
That's
down
why
for
I'm-
low grade. I'm down for low grade already.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm
I am.
down for
I am.
I'll
great.
back that. I'll back that.
I'm down
Yeah.
for low grade for sure.
Like the name just carries it, because no one even
bro,
cares
like-
to watch. And speaking of games that mean something,
Nah,
I'm almost
man.
certain.
No,
I'm almost
man.
certain that nobody has watched the game here.
I'm not gonna
and
sit
yet,
and lie, man. I
to
ain't
be
watching
honest,
no
we
game,
know
man.
what Guan, bro.
I'm
We know
gonna-
what Guan.
I'm gonna say it right now. Like, I don't feel like you have had to have watched one or
Yeah,
watch it
I
every
agree.
time to know
I
this is
agree.
Yeah.
iconic.
This is a
it's one of
men-
those
Yeah.
like
Nah,
for some reason, without even watching it, you just know it is. And yeah, you see the videos of the
yeah,
fans and all
you
that.
man.
but it's just iconic.
I'll be so
It is.
real.
Wait, just in case guys are listening and they can't see it, we're talking about River Plate versus Boca Juniors, by the way. So you know already.
River Plate Boca Juniors. I'll be so honest, because I've been to a game in Argentina when I went traveling.
Oh, is it?
I'll be so
Right.
real with you. I went to a Boca's game. I have never wanted to leave a stadium so much in my life.
And you're with a
fear.
home
Like,
fan.
no, I'm being
a celebrity, get me out of
100%
here.
serious through fear. Like, I just never felt comfortable. The way their man move, I can't lie to you. I refuse to put it lower than iconic. I don't care.
Yeah.
You guys can put it where you
Bro,
want.
people are dying
but
over
Nah,
this
you
game.
don't- you
man.
don't need
promise
to-
you, I'm
like
not.
Jamie said,
I'm not.
you
Like,
don't-
people are dying
don't
over
need
these.
to
I
watch
promise
this
you,
game
they
It's one
to-
of
are.
those
Yeah.
to me.
They go
it's
into
don't
the
need to
game
watch
and not
this
coming
game,
home,
man.
and I'm being so real. So I can't. Yeah, man.
You know when
I'm
you just
not.
look at an image and you can feel tension. That's what I
Yeah,
feel.
You just
right
know
now.
what Guan already, bro. You
Feel
start
tension.
seeing the flares everywhere. You can't even see the pitch, but that's why
Nah,
no one
good,
watch
man.
it. You can't even see what's going on.
Put that in iconic.
Bro, they
Those
got like-
South Americans when it comes to
Yeah,
football
man.
do not mess about.
Fair enough. Well, there we go. That's our second iconic derby of the episode. Next up, we're back to England for this one. Newcastle versus Sunderland. Thomas, thoughts?
Oh man.
Why are you laughing?
Again, I feel like outside of the town or outside of Tyneside, it's not a that thing, man. Like I don't know. I don't feel anything in it. I just feel like right now, especially, they feel worlds apart. But then I don't want to be ignorant and say that because I'm not from there that it's not a big game.
It's defo beef.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not going to be ignorant and say there's not beef.
Like just on that alone,
I can think back.
If I was to once again compare that to like Chelsea and Spurs as a derby game, it's much clearer than that in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear that.
That's
and
genuinely the way I see it.
The issue they have is that like, obviously people can say they don't watch it. It's because they've been in League One Championship for a while now.
And
when they were
there,
they disappeared when
they were in the
grew
same
in
league.
Popularity massively.
Yeah, it was nuts because I remember there was like seasons where they were both kind of competing to stay in the Prem, and you have that iconic picture of like what's his name, Di Canio doing the knee slide, wearing his full suit and trousers as the manager of Sunderland. That game, even if you're like not from there, when you go to these clubs as a manager or a player, you know straight away like this is the one game.
Even
if you lose every other game that season, show up for this one.
It's above Tottenham still. It's above Tottenham.
It's above Tottenham and above.
It's above Dortmund in my opinion as well.
So like this, low grade.
Low grade, high good in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. Next up, this is meant to be some brazy derby. I watched it this season. Borussia Dortmund versus Schalke. My goodness.
This is another Chelsea Fulham for me. But again, this might be a worldwide opinion. I don't know.
I'm sorry, man. Like, I don't know what the games were like before this. Apparently, it was like loads of goals or whatever. I don't know. I watched it this season.
I don't know if I'm off the mark here, but I feel like Dortmund Schalke has more like animosity than Dortmund
than the Bayern one. It does. But the games have no, like, has anyone genuinely, unless you are a fan of that league, has anyone actually said, yeah, do you know what? Well, I'm waffling because I actually said, do you know what? I want to watch it. So I can't even make that point.
That's why I don't know if I'm being ignorant.
Yeah,
but it was dead.
I've watched a couple, but not. It's not because it's a derby. It's just because I've happened to watch Dortmund.
There was nothing else on.
Yeah,
those guys played at like 2
that's
PM
the truth.
or whatever.
Like, I haven't gone.
Do you know why?
It's the Schalke Dortmund derby. I'll watch that. I've watched them
I've
play
even just
each other.
realized.
And so
it's cause the Queen died and there was nothing to watch for the Premier League. So I said, okay, I'll watch some Bundesliga then. That's what happened. I just realized that's on that same weekend.
I actually just realized it is, isn't it? That's actually
the
same weekend.
That's why I watched it. I was wondering
actually
that.
just realized. I didn't even deep it. I've genuinely just realized.
So we're going mid then, or
look,
I'm down for mid.
Personally, and that's where like I don't know. There'll probably be people in the comments saying whatever, and that's fair. But like for me, as like an old global thing and whatever, it just doesn't have the same impact as everyone we have right now.
All right, this should be an interesting one. I want to see other guys' thoughts on this. We have Chelsea versus Arsenal. What are we saying for this?
I'll let the Arsenal fans talk first.
Thomas, you go, because I want to hear everyone's thoughts before I give mine. It's an intriguing one.
Okay, so I think I want to put it in either top end or good or low ish or great-ish, just because like no bias here, but Chelsea Arsenal is a proper game. Like that's where like the quality is showing. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan, but back then when Drogba used to do a madness and stuff, like that stuff hurt me. All of that stuff used to affect me. Like it's historical in the sense that there's been like top 4 battles as well. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's either top good or like low great, because it's been a great derby, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Seeing the ones that we have been great at the moment, I don't think it touches it just on that basis alone.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree.
Obviously, you guys have a different perspective as Arsenal fans. 100%.
Yeah, for me, I feel like the rivalry between you guys is bigger in cup competitions. From a Chelsea standpoint, I don't see it being. I see it being level, if not lower than Tottenham.
Lower than
I think
Tottenham.
Chelsea Arsenal is bigger than Chelsea Tottenham.
My thoughts on this game, I wanted to see what everyone was saying at first. I think there's 2 perspectives I have, because this could really go in. There's 4 categories it can go in. I can't lie to you. This game, entertainment-wise, is one of the best. Like almost every single year, from as far back as I can go, the first ever game that I even watched live in person, we got slapped 2-0 at Highbury. Ever since then, you've got iconic games. You've got the beef between Mourinho and Arsene Wenger. Like you said, we beat them in FA Cups. They beat us in Europa League final. Like there's been the 6-0. We beat them 5-3. There's been so many outrageous games between these 2 clubs. However, as an Arsenal fan, I can't say I hate Chelsea more than some other couple of clubs. It's really hard because the games always do mean something, but there's something missing. Is higher good reasonable?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
I don't really know what it needs to do to go higher because when I think about it, it has all the ingredients. We've had transfers.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. Ashley Cole,
people like were angry at Fabregas.
What you want the derby to do, fam?
I think it's the last couple of years, man. I don't know what's happened, but like now we've got guys like Amenyah goes to Chelsea and no one even cares. Like it's just like, okay, well done to you, man.
That's what I mean.
David
because
Luiz.
I think the in quote unquote beef between you guys is more success rather than derby beef.
I don't really know what it is. Like it could really go higher, but there's something not there. Next up, another one that I've put it in there because I have to put it in there.
I'm saying it's a great derby and that's where it's ending. You guys can argue with yourselves.
Great derby, fam.
I get shouted at if I don't put it in. Galatasaray versus Fenerbahce. Jamie, any thoughts, mate?
My thoughts are, I feel like, right? I feel like I could be off the mic here. I feel like these Turkish fans are crazier than the Portuguese fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're crazier than maybe the River Plate Boca Junior dub. I feel like it's the fierceness and like the passion alone. You can't really put it any lower than great. Like,
I echo Jamie's sentences completely. I genuinely can't add to that. That's
agree.
Exactly what I'm thinking. Exactly what I'm thinking.
So should we go below Real versus Atleti in that gap there?
Yes.
Just above Benfica, Porto.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yes.
Next up, Liverpool versus Manchester United.
Take the floor. Take the floor.
There's been a lot of talk about it, and I've never really understood why it's lower than the Chelsea Arsenal.
What? Really?
I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those where people want it to be. I don't know. I feel like it's a very forced narrative.
If we're going off the success thing as the main reason of hatred, maybe between Chelsea and Arsenal,
not just success.
No, but like in that regard, that's already wild. Put Liverpool, Man United above that.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying
that is actually more than Chelsea and Arsenal.
But that's why I'm saying it's forced. Though I don't know. That doesn't make it a rivalry for me.
I think what Jamie's saying, he's not necessarily wrong about that, right? Like the beef between those two is definitely more than Arsenal versus Chelsea, as far as fans are concerned.
Yeah.
However, I also want in my criteria, again, you can judge it how you like. In my criteria, I would like for the games to also be very entertaining. And if I think about Liverpool United like crazy games, I've got to start going back like 15 years to Torres in the grey shirt and that. Like, of recent times. I watched them and
I'm not looking at it like that in as much weight though.
I find it important that the games should be like exciting to watch, because I'm not going there to watch the fans argue, am I? Otherwise, why am I even going to go to the stadium or watch it?
That's the part I agree on.
I can watch guys argue on Twitter for free.
It's like you must, as a United fan, you must call Liverpool a rivalry. What relevance does that have if the games are like Amenyah said, mid?
I wouldn't disagree with putting it low grade at the moment, to be honest. But I would be more happier putting it lower grade than higher good. But that's just my opinion.
Ahead of Chelsea, Arsenal. I mean, if we're gonna base it off what it was, then yeah. On a footballing spectacle, I haven't seen any game and been like, "Raw, what a game!" I would rewatch that. Do you know what I mean?
I've got a theory. I've just realized why we're thinking about this all the wrong way. 3 of us here are from London or thereabouts, so therefore, all the United fans we know are from London. So they don't really have that beef with Liverpool. They just have beef with other London clubs.
Yeah,
so that's why we're thinking that United fans don't necessarily hate Liverpool. United fans definitely hate Liverpool, but where we are from, it's not that deep.
I'm trying to think. Name me a Liverpool United game that you're like, do you know what, that game was crazy.
I'm saying,
whereas
bro.
Again, I'm thinking of Chelsea, Tottenham games. I can think of them. Thinking of Arsenal.
I have to go down a little bit to top
Chelsea
good.
games.
We'll go high good then. We'll go high good. All right then. Next up, we are off to Scotland.
Oh, this is an easy one. Spending no time on this one.
Don't need to spend time on this one, bro.
What are we saying?
That is football derbies. That is literally football derbies.
The thing with this derby is like there's a few in the world where it's like deeper than football, right?
Yeah, facts.
Religion involved.
Facts.
things
Sometimes
like
it's
that.
called
Location.
Bro,
It's way too deep than just a football derby. That's just what it is.
from
So,
time
like,
it's called
Yeah.
Old Firm. You know what it is, man.
All I
Bro.
know is my dad is Scottish, and he once brought home, let's say, a Rangers fan as a Celtic household, and he was told he could no longer talk to that girl. Let's put it that way.
I thought it was about to get
This
roughed
is-
or something.
that's what I
no,
thought.
no.
I'm oblivious to a lot of things. I know this when this game is coming 3 weeks before. Like,
that's the thing
You know
where
what I
it
mean?
actually has everything.
Yeah,
And
it's
using
crazy.
Amenyah's knowledge, or like I guess Amenyah's weight on it, like those games are always like I don't care. You can find me one. Try and find me one where like, oh, 0-0, nothing happened, no cards. Like it just doesn't happen. It
doesn't
it
happen,
never
bro.
happens.
It doesn't happen.
It
Find me
doesn't
one.
happen.
Someone get in the comments,
It
though, just in
doesn't
case, in the
happen.
comments, if you're watching.
And
try
even
find
if
that
it's
one, please.
0-0 and there's no cards, you know someone's ran on.
This is the funniest thing. They always say, because you know Rangers like liquidated or whatever, like
yeah,
how many
yeah.
years, 10 years. They always say like, oh, what do you mean that we have like this many titles and this many titles? You have 0 titles. You guys don't even exist. But yet they hate them so much. Like clearly they do exist. Otherwise, why do you hate them so
No
much?
cap, bro.
If it's no
I
longer
will
Rangers,
say this with
Come on,
chest.
man.
I will say this with chest. That rivalry is part of the reasons Rangers fueled their way back up to where they are. I'll be so real about it.
Factos.
I want to put
I'm gonna tell you why I put them.
I want to put
Go
it
on.
top personally, and I was about to say
Same.
I'm not sure
I
if this
do.
is like
I
personal
I
bias or
personally
whatever,
do.
but for
No,
me,
I really do.
everything combined, I would need.
I think it's the biggest football derby in the world. I
Yeah.
genuinely.
I'll tell you why there's two factors why I want to put it second, but maybe you might disagree.
You
and
can
we move
say
up
it, but
to
I already
first.
know I'm going to disagree.
Yeah, you
go.
can say it, but I'm disagreeing. You can say anything.
I'll explain my reasonings why like it does get knocked down a couple scores. It's still iconic for sure. I agree with you. But I reckon, okay, we're in England, so we follow English-based teams or whatever, right? So we are going to be more inclined to watch this, even though it's not our main league. I don't think like Italians lock into this. They don't care at all. Spanish don't care about this. Because second of all, let's say Milan and Inter, we know all the legends. We've seen this happen in the league and in Champions League. We've never seen Celtic Rangers do anything outside of the league. And the other point I was going to make, as well as like nothing happening in Europe, is that this game happens almost like every 3 weeks, man. I feel like they play each other like 10 times a year.
Amenyah,
Like, come on, man.
I'll counter your point right here, right now. The one time that a Scottish club has gone far in our lifetimes in Europe, everybody backed Rangers because they know about Rangers from this match.
No, but it's because the Rangers fans were cold and it was an underdog story.
Exactly.
It's not because
But
of Celtic.
all of that comes from their history.
I'm gonna put my neck on the line here. Yeah, I'm a Rangers guy. All right, my first ever
God
management.
damn.
My first ever job in management was on FIFA 05 Rangers. Yeah, my guys
ever
were
job, by the way.
Shotter
thinking, wait, what's going on here? When'd you work for
Nacho Shotter Avaladze, Nacho Novo. These were my guys, but people outside of England per se, they're not gonna tell you who the legends are really. Maybe like Scott Brown and Kenny Miller going back and forth. Like
Henrik
people
Larsson.
aren't gonna know it like that too tough. But we can have it number one based on the other stuff. I do hear that. I'll allow it, I suppose.
But I still feel like people outside of the UK just know this as the derby. But
they'll know it as a derby, but they won't watch it. The same way, like, for example, we're talking about Boca Juniors and that. We know it's a mad derby, but we're not watching it. Wait, Thomas, are you saying first or are you saying Milan Inter game?
Nah, I think it's ahead of that, to be fair. I think it's first for now.
All right, then. Well, democracy. I'll go with you lot. Fair enough. Next up, Aston Villa, Birmingham.
I'll let you lot talk first
Oh, yeah, you support Villa, innit?
because I know where this is going.
So to me, it doesn't have like the global recognition, right? But as someone that does have the English bias, and this is obviously, I'm rating these from my perspective, it is definitely a better derby than all the ones we have in good.
I be honest, I couldn't tell you a single game between these two
Yeah,
teams.
neither could I. I'm with the man.
A single
I'm
game,
so
like
lost.
ever. And these were in the Prem for most of my years growing up. I couldn't tell you a single game. All I know is that Mav was angry that Jude Bellingham was good.
Yeah, I mean, I personally
That's
feel
it.
like
I d-
the
that's
hatred in that
funny.
one is much bigger than the older ones. Maybe that's why I'm weighing it. So,
But then isn't that similar to like for example, let's say Dortmund Schalke in that sense? Because Mav's gonna hate them, and because, like that's his team.
yeah,
and
maybe,
that.
and
But
that's what I'm just
I couldn't
saying.
care
Like,
at all.
I have more experience, I guess, knowing of Villa Birmingham compared to Dortmund Schalke.
Well, I'd say overrated, but Mav, you're welcome to take the floor, mate.
Overrated. I can't lie. People that watch me or talk to me, you'll say it yourself. You'll say I'm a part-time Aston Villa fan. I'm not a diehard Villa fan. You know my opinion on football, right? I'm not a diehard football fan, but I understand the magnitude of these games.
Yeah, but
this is
right?
This is another West Ham Millwall. This is a West Ham Millwall.
Yeah, that's what I was
going
to mention. West Ham Millwall. You can't just put it there because specifically. Those, I agree. West Ham Millwall was a bigger game for sure. Like the police. Anyway, aside from that, this game, like, no offense, I know that's your team. No one else cares. No one.
Yeah, that's where I get.
No one has ever thought.
No, I get that.
Like when I saw Newcastle Sunderland, right? That's a team. That's a game that similar times to when Birmingham were in the Prem, Sunderland were here as well. I can think back to games between Newcastle and Sunderland. I couldn't tell you for the life of me one game that was played between Aston Villa and Birmingham.
Neither could I.
I couldn't.
Yeah, I think the viewership is irrelevant in the situation of this one.
Naturally going to be more biased because you know, and I guess that's where I probably am as well.
A lot of the derbies we're thinking of when we go AC Inter are obviously it's crazy. Don't get it twisted, but for us and in terms of our interest, they were a lot bigger when we were younger.
I think this season's game was great. I think this season's game was great with Rafael.
Yeah, this season's game was great as well. Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. This is where it gets hard though, right? Because I guess people will look at this now and go, "Wait, you've rated that lower than this. This is what happened on this."
Yeah, that's what.
If you watch the context of us rating all of these, we're trying to, I guess, put different things
balance out as many.
So that's why now I'm happy to put it lower, based on the criteria.
Like I said,
used,
I don't care where you guys put it.
Jamie, your friend, Emil Heskey, played for both. No beef, no dramas. Yeah, no one cared. I can't lie. I'd go overrated. Thomas, would you like to join me there, sir? Or because that category is going to be empty at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say overrated. If you're not from there, like, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm being naive. I didn't know. I knew obviously they're both in Birmingham, but I didn't think it was a derby like that. Do you know what I mean?
Overrated doesn't mean that it's a worse derby.
Doesn't mean it's lower than mid.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but you're
the
also,
top four are the ones that are in order, but the overrated ones
you're also
are the
saying
ones that
your
could go
point
somewhere
is
else.
it's overrated. But how can it be overrated if one of your points is only Villa and Birmingham fans care about it? So how can it be overrated?
No, it's overrated because two people here want to put it in great.
Yeah,
because
I'm a Villa fan. I'm a Villa fan. So of course,
yeah,
so you're overrating it, and so is Jamie.
I see it.
He's overrating it.
No, I also I get it, but I just at the same time I don't.
I agree. I agree. The fact that we wanted to is the
criteria doesn't make sense, but it is what it is.
All right, then. Next up, we have the biggest derby in England. The North London Derby. Thomas, chat to us, mate.
I mean, Amenyah, where do I start, lad? It's been some great games. You know, history, you know, speaks for itself. We've got Thierry Henry running through the whole team, sliding right in front of their fans and, you know, getting abused. I'm not going to lie as well, even though I hate that stupid club, like, they've had their moments as well, like when Harry Kane had that stupid face mask on, but, you know, and they've had their moments as well, so I'll give it to them. But
all those penalties that Harry Kane has scored,
all them dusty penalties he scored as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no open play.
You know what I mean? You know, even though Aubameyang's not here, he served his purpose as well. You know, but
he did.
Nah, man, like there's been some great games, bro. This one goes back. And as an Arsenal fan, I can speak. I hate Tottenham, bro. Like, I can't even say that. Chicken Ball FC, I can't stand them, bro. Like, I hate them.
I'm just gonna come in here. I know obviously you boys are Arsenal fans. To me, look, I don't know if I'm missing something. I think Premier League clubs right now in England, I think it's the biggest. I would be happy enough to put it in, obviously, maybe top of great, to be honest.
Just almost every game, literally means something.
Yep,
okay,
facts.
listen, hold tight. I know Alfie's going to be watching this, so listen, I'll give you a bit of credit. Even the most recent one before where we just slapped them now, it meant that they got top 4 over us. Some years before that, we get it over them. We went and poisoned their food so that they missed out on top 4 on the final day in 05-06. People are just... that it's manic, it's chaos. As far as entertaining games go, I can't lie. I think it beats every single game on this list. I'll be so honest. As far as game, 4-4s, 5-4s, 3-2s, 4-4.
You know,
as
goals
far
are
as
guaranteed.
entertaining games
Absolutely
goes.
incorrect, but
I mean,
that is so.
Which one beats it?
Unbelievable. That is so far wrong. It's unbelievable.
Wait. Which fixture here? Which fixture here has more like crazy games than this one? Which one?
Celtic Rangers.
Which? Celtic Rangers.
Go on, give me some examples then. Go on.
Real Madrid, Barcelona.
No, but
I mean,
go on.
you could even.
I said on the list. Celtic Rangers. Go on.
Oh yeah. I don't, bro. Yeah. Nah, fair enough.
Celtic Rangers. Go on. There's nothing. They are great games, but
fair enough.
They're not.
Fair enough.
No, but we're talking about like memorable games is what we're talking
Games
about.
that
Like
stick
the
in your mind.
Where are you
For
wanting?
you-
What point are you
for
trying to
you,
make?
'cause you're an Arsenal fan.
It's not, but it's not for me. Other guys can remember it as well. That's what I'm saying. Everyone remembers like the 4-4 that David Bentley scored a volley from 40 yards. Or people remember.
Where
that.
are you going with this? Where
There's
do you
memorable
want to rate
games.
it?
Yeah.
I'm saying it's either the top of great or it's low
I
iconic,
agree with
below
that. I
Boca
agree with
Juniors and River Plate.
I'm not putting it. I wouldn't go as far as
Yeah,
like, I'm happy.
I knew
look,
this. I was waiting for this because I knew this was going to happen.
That's why I put it at the end.
In iconic, no chance.
No.
The same way Birmingham Villa to me is iconic, but
For everyone
But no
else,
one
as-
tunes in for that.
as a grand
People
scale,
tune
if
in
we're
for
using
this.
the same scale we use for everything else, that does not touch iconic. Does not.
All right,
Sorry.
top of great then. Top of great.
Top of great.
Yeah, that's.
Outback.
I agree on that. I
Top
agree
of
on that
great
fully.
Outback.
The only
Top
thing
of
that's
great.
missing from this, the only thing missing to make it iconic in my books is a little link up in the Champions League semi-final or something.
Yeah.
People know the derby's coming. Everyone's talking about it for the whole week beforehand. Oh, who's gonna win? Are you feeling confident? Who's gonna win?
Yeah.
When
yeah,
Bayern Dortmund happens,
that's
it just
prem
happens.
bias
That's
as
all.
well, though. That is prem bias for sure.
Yeah,
Like I agree. I don't want it moved from upper grade. Don't get it twisted. But I'm also counteracting some of the points you're making as an Arsenal fan.
No, but
as
no.
a
Okay, so
non-Arsenal
I'll
fan.
counteract you back. Then you mentioned obviously Bayern Dortmund or whatever. Yeah, we spoke about Hummels, Götze back and forth. The players that have transferred between here, if you go to Sol Campbell and then like what Adebayor, there's no love there at all, bro. There is
No,
severe,
agree. No.
severe
I
hatred, bro.
100% agree, and that's why I'm arguing top of great and not in good.
All
Where
right,
Dortmund
fine,
and
fine.
Bayern is.
All right,
Tax
then.
gets it
Fair
top of great.
I reckon it gets more views than Madrid versus Atleti. Personally,
yeah, of course it does, and
that's
that
what
goes
I
into
think.
the same
worldwide. That is.
It goes into the same tax threshold as well, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
You boys get it wrong.
Lazio versus Roma. What are we saying? This game, as far as I'm aware, it is absolutely chaos. But I've watched it like one time as well, so it's not one that I sit there. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to watch Racismo versus Roma. To be honest with you.
I genuinely like have no opinion of this game. I'll be so real. I
Yeah,
have
neither,
zero.
neither do I.
Like literally
I
zero
don't know.
opinion.
There's other games outside of the Premier League, outside of England, on this list that I still rate higher because of
Exactly.
this global impact.
There's
You
no
know what I
English
mean?
games in Iconic.
Yeah.
There's no English games in Iconic, so it's not as though we're saying it because we just
Yeah,
don't know about it.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was that good, we'd speak about it.
know
Like,
about
Yeah,
it,
that's
bro.
what I.
No,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
does that then fall into overrated then perhaps? Because it's meant to like it's on the list
I
of
think
best derbies ever.
I'll be real. The way you guys measured Aston Villa Birmingham, I think that's the same situation with this
Yeah,
Lazio
I
Roma.
agree with that.
I really do.
All
I
right,
think
then.
I think if you're from each of those places, you'll probably be like you've lost your
Yeah.
mind. It's great, but for us, it's overrated.
If I go to Lazio, they're gonna tell me I've lost my mind anyway, but that's because I'm not. the
Bro,
correct skin
I
colour
mean,
for
you'd
them.
be in
So
trouble
anyway,
either way,
yeah.
football or not.
Yeah,
so.
regardless. Even if I wear a Lazio top
Football or
with
not, you're in
Milinkovic
trouble.
Savic
Finished,
on the
man.
back, I'm still not gonna
That's
get
a
let in, so it
Milinkovic
doesn't matter.
Savage. Oh, rip that off.
All right, I think another one that might fall into maybe not overrated. This one, Feyenoord versus Ajax. I can't lie, to me,
Not the marquee matchups picture on it. Jeez.
It literally is as well, by the way.
I just
Fine.
googled it, bro,
Literally is a
and that's what
match-
came up.
matchup picture.
Fine.
That should
Yeah.
tell you all
Oh,
you need to
right.
know. So those that are
course
watching the
Jamie
pod,
spotted
you're
that.
not gonna see it. You're not gonna see it because you're gonna see Yaz's graphics.
I thought it was out in
But
game. I was about to
searched-
start loading up my PS5.
I searched for Feyenoord versus Ajax on Google Images to put the tier list together, and it showed me marquee matchups of them together.
Hey,
We're on overtime. What's going on?
Yeah. So what we're saying, we're going
Fine.
mid for this one then. In that case,
We're going what?
mid, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd
for
say
this.
mid.
Like, it's not, I don't really think it. I feel like
It's
Ajax
one of those
dominate
where,
that.
like, I understand Dutch fans are crazy as well, right? But it's...
I mean, all 10 of them.
Whoa.
I don't think they're as crazy. Obviously, I've had the joy
Holland's
of
tiny.
living.
That's like
Yeah,
population-wise,
I've
it's
had the
tiny,
joy of
bro.
living
It's not,
there, and
it's
final
not even
was
a dig. It's just real.
bro. Final was they had just won the league when I moved to live there for a year, and I can't exactly say there was like some crazy animosity. Like final, they had beef with like Sparta Rotterdam and other clubs that are around the same area of Rotterdam. The Ajax thing is a similar thing where Ajax is just the best team.
Do you know the other problem?
Based on I think global impact and my overall knowledge on this, it's like to me it's like Dortmund, Schalke.
They're good people. We're not saying that you're like losers. We're not calling you good boy. We're just saying you're nice.
So polite.
Yeah.
Guys, we love you. Don't hurt us.
All right then.
We love y'all.
Here we go. Do we have a game now that does oust the old firm? We have El Clasico, Real Madrid versus Barcelona.
I don't think anything needs to be said, bro. Like,
does anyone attest to this going straight to number one?
Nowhere.
No, I'm not attesting. I was about to say it like, yeah, obviously on the I guess passion hatred compared to, Rangers Celtic. I don't think it's on that. Like, to be honest, but overall,
it's not on a religious scale. But then again,
no, but
when you deep it, I don't know if you look.
It's close.
I don't know if you lot have seen
it's very close.
It's actually very close.
Kind of
they
wild,
they
I'll be honest.
hate Madrid.
And Madristas.
Because I don't know if you lot have watched
it's kind of
the Figo documentary. The Figo documentary. They spoke about how like Barca represents obviously Catalan resistance, whatever. Real Madrid obviously the Royals. There's a massive clash of ideologies there.
Yeah,
so you mentioned like religion. It's there's war here that is going on between these clubs in a way.
Man.
People are throwing pig's head at Figo, taking the corner, and of course we can't deny
anyone that moves across is curtains for them as well, bro. Like,
bro,
yeah, it's top.
Best two players in history play for these two clubs. They've had clashes in the league, in the Champions League.
It's kind of wild that the Ronaldo Messi debate literally happened to go into the El Clasico as well, like, which is already one of the biggest games in the world. I'll be the best centre back in the world instead.
It ticks every box.
People fell in love with
criteria
bro. Yeah, it literally ticks every box.
Every box.
Everyone's gonna watch it.
Literally,
like two of the best players in the world, bro. Some of the maddest moments. Bale ran from the halfway line or from his own box all the way,
madness.
And that's even Copa del Rey.
Man, them busting off their shirts like it was mad.
This is a
guys lifting up their shirts like Messi running from the halfway line through the whole team. Nah.
So many.
There's so many moments
we'll say that's definitely number one. And now this one, it goes on something that I mentioned earlier. It's a bit of a bonus one, if you like, because as you can see, Arsenal United, they're not from the same city, but most United fans are from London, so in my eyes, this is now a derby game. So Arsenal United,
stab at them there.
Arsenal United, where would we like to put this? Because if I'm honest with you lot, this is my most hated team.
I'll be so real. I'll be so real. For me personally, this is in terms of derbies, like if you were to call it one, I think this goes above for everybody. If we're using all criteria, the NDL for me. NLD, sorry. NDL is Nico. Yeah.
He's broken in here even.
We're not talking about the
live
charity
match.
Shut up, man. Jamie, shut up, man.
Well done, we get it. You know 15 side, man. Well done. I hear what you're saying, though. It's obviously we can think back to, I know someone's going to mention, obviously 8-2. There's a lot of games. We've won the league at Old Trafford. Players that have gone, obviously we've seen Van Persie, absolute chaos when he left there.
Chaos.
Alexis Sanchez played the
still
piano.
hate him.
Bro, if you even,
like the Vieira Keane, is quite literally like
rivalry,
that is
bro.
quite literally the rivalry. We stopped your unbeaten run.
You literally stopped the unbeaten run.
You scammed it, yeah. You scammed the unbeaten run. I agree.
We had
Arsene
Van
Wenger,
Nistelrooy missing pens. You got man jumping on his neck,
jumping in his face. Yeah, this was
this was the one.
Jamie,
in the yellow kit doing the splits because Ronaldo sends him. The only time Ronaldo ever got the better of him.
Doing the headers like a seal, and then he gets wiped out. A crazy game, bro.
Yeah,
crazy
man.
Game.
Yeah.
Should we? Does it push towards iconic? Do you reckon? Bottom iconic.
Nah, I don't think
It's top.
Maybe
top
not because
grade.
it's not a
Top
derby.
grade.
It's not a
It's
derby.
top grade. Top grade.
I'm really happy with those 4 in iconic for different reasons, and it's weird. Like
yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
It makes
hear
sense.
I absolutely agree.
It's a nice balance.
To me,
list we've
those
got
4
there,
at
I
the
reckon.
top is like, all right, that's
If you
what's
said
making-
derbies, they're
pinnacle-
the
the
4.
pinnacle
They're
of
the 4.
I agree.
I agree. Fair enough. Well, there you have it, you man. That is our list done in perfect time. We recorded this right before Champions League, so wonderful stuff. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a comment. Let us know what you disagree with. I'm sure you're going to disagree with a lot of things. Maybe
That's
let
the
us know
beauty
what
of it,
ones
eh?
we missed out. Yeah, I know people want to have West Ham, Millwall there. There's other derbies, Olympiacos, I don't care about those ones, though. I can't lie to you. Sorry.
You just had to put that
I
in.
do.
But yeah,
I do.
other than
Everyone
that-
loves me.
yeah, okay,
Everyone
Mav
loves
cares.
me. I care.
Mav cares, but let us know
I
what we
don't.
missed out. Let us know who you'd have as your top 3. What games you think are overrated. Other than that, go like, subscribe, sub to all these man, follow all these man on their socials. It's gonna be all over the screen and in the bio. In a bit, you man. Love, safe, bye.
Peace.